Hello, beautiful people. Do I look slightly familiar? I reckon I probably do because this is my third time coming live today. And I'm hoping that you're not getting sick of my face, but that's okay. As you know, guys, as I said in the last live I did, we are doing our sponsors spotlight interviews for our upcoming Heart and Soul Virtual Expo, which is happening next Wednesday. We start on February the 5th. And we go through the 6th and the 7th. So next Wednesday to next Friday. And guys, if you would like to come and join us for free in the expo, you are very, very welcome to do so. All you need to do is just see that little thing scrolling across the bottom. Just type that in and come and join our expo group for free. And when my beautiful VA, hopefully she'll join us soon, and she will pop that link in the comments for you. So just click on it and go to the expo. More on that a bit later, guys. But first of all, we are here to interview one of our sponsors. And honestly, guys, I could not do this expo without our sponsors because they support me and my team right throughout the preparation of the expo and through the expo itself. So this is your chance to get to know them on a deeper level. This is why we do these interviews. So today, for this interview, I would love to introduce you to a wonderful lady called Michelle Peel from Michelle Peel Dzign Studios. And Michelle is a business design consultant. She collaborates with entrepreneurs and business owners to transform your ideas into thriving, purpose-driven businesses. Wow, that's pretty cool. And she's got a lot of experience, and I'll let her share more about her background today as a graphic artist. And, you know, she loves to help create really cool branding and help you set up smart strategies in your business to get you going. So it's a whole package. It's not just branding, it's a whole package. So without any further ado, let's bring her up and get her to explain it much better than I can. Hello, Michelle.
Hey, how you doing, Ellie? Thanks for having me.
I'm good. It is my pleasure, beautiful. It's lovely to have you here. So, as I said, you are a business design consultant. So, let us know what exactly that entails, because I know that you've had a bit of a change up with your business and all together. So, let's hear what you do.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Look, I've come a long journey, and it's been an amazing journey at that. So my husband and I built up a couple of businesses over the last 25 years, and we ran one, it was a dental laboratory for 11 years, and that was his craft. He's a Crown and Bridge dental technician, and I supported him in his craft, and, we had our kiddies, and then we decided we'd come to Queensland and bought a business up in Queensland 24 years ago, might I say, and ran that for 14 odd years. And then I went back into the workforce just because we finished up that business, and decided I wasn't done yet. And I felt it was my turn to have my craft. And my craft is, I'm a fully qualified graphic artist and have been, and that my passion for design and creation is like, it's my happy place. I don't even feel like I'm working when I do my design work. So, and I really felt building those two businesses, there wasn't enough help out there for people other than to do courses and things like that and still be on their own, So I felt that there's a real need for that nurturing and guidance and help getting people across the line with their businesses to get over that overwhelm and, that uncertainty. And having the background I have, I was very fortunate to be able to bring the two together. So I basically decided I started about 3 years ago doing the Dzign Studio work and working with people off and on, and building their brands and things like that. And Michelle Peel is what I've decided to brand, to do that next level kind of work with people, because I'm not just a designer, I'm a little bit more than that. So that's sort of why I've gone down the consultancy path, to be able to come into that realm with people. So that's a bit about me.
Love it. And I know what you say. I hear what you say 100% when you say, when you get into the design space, or I think it's more of the overall creative space, isn't it? When you get to help people with their businesses, and it's your happy place. Because I don't know about you, but I'm a massive creative, and what I see is most people who come into business have some form of creativity. But it's a matter of needing someone like you to guide them in how to put it all together like a puzzle. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So everybody's got creative in them. We're all born with it.
Yeah,
everybody. So there's different levels of creative though. So it's about tuning into what they're already doing and improving on that, or doing it from scratch and tapping into their personalities and having that whole I guess I'm very fortunate and very blessed. I'm a good listener and I listen to my clients and I really get to know and understand them and their businesses and what they're wanting to achieve and what they're wanting to bring to life, because there's designers and there's people who do their design, and there's people dabble in their design, and that's all fine, but it's got to have a message. It's got to be able to resonate with those people.
Yep.
and put that story out there. The stories are key. People work on trust. People work with people. They but if you don't position yourself properly, you don't get that message out there. So that's where I come in. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads me to a question. So when you've been working with people, what are maybe some of the biggest mistakes that you see people who are trying to start a business? What are some of the mistakes that you would see them make?
My biggest thing I see is it's a bit like the magpie syndrome or the bowerbird syndrome, whatever the bird is that gathers all the goodies, sees something nice and bright and they'll use that bit. I'll see something nice and I'll use that. Oh, I love that. I'll use that. And it's just like a big mismatch of everything. There's no story or continuity or professionalism there, and then they try and cram in all of this, and then they do their italics in capitals all the time, or their script writing in capitals all the time. That drives me insane. I hate script writing in capitals, excuse me, but and then they'll have their logo as a block of a white background with beautiful graphics, and they're not transparent to go on their images and things like that. So they're the sort of things that I see and I think, oh my gosh, and then they don't fit into their profile. Their banners are out of scale and they don't fit on their mobile and all of that. So I don't even think about those sort of things, because mobile, 93% of people view social media on their mobiles. And if a website or a banner or something is not scaled to a mobile view, you can be wasting your time putting your stuff out there. So that's sort of the things I see. Yeah,
that's true. And you're coming, like you say, you're coming at it from someone who's had a lot of experience in business, and the design, which is a great, match, especially because business is visual. We don't, yes, there's an element of, yes, it's personality, of course, your business, your branding yourself, but it is visual, like it or not. There's a visual aspect to it, and it has to. Like you just said as well, you have to have a story behind it. So and this is what I always say about branding and starting businesses: there's more than pretty pictures and colors.
Absolutely. and it's tuning into that, what resonates you. It is absolutely true. They people miss that message and they think they've got to have a lot of information. A lot of the time less is best. That's where we come in and sort all that out.
Excellent. Yeah, beautiful, Michelle. Another question for you. This is a bit of a curious one. So what would you say to someone who, again, is starting out in business and they haven't got a huge budget? Where would you suggest that they focus the budget that they do have first?
Oh, great question. Well, look, it all depends on what they're doing and what their product is. If the product is them, that's a different scenario. Again, if it's a product that they're promoting, you've got to think about things like, okay, we need stock to sell. We need all the structure put in place. We need a business plan. I highly recommend a business plan.
Oh, yeah.
I highly recommend to have that vision in place is how you'll get where you want to go. And design and marketing and all of that it can be baby steps. And most startups don't have the budget. And yes, they do go and do their own thing, and that's all fine. But generally, I would really recommend, if you were to allow, a portion of your budget to go to your marketing and get it right from the get-go, because I've had clients come to me, and one in particular just recently has come on board with my services. She's actually a designer. She's actually got the design skills, and she's actually budgeted quite a few $1,000s because she knew that she needed to profile herself, but she doesn't have the skills to put herself positioned where she wants to be. So you can spend so much time on trying to bring all that together, hours and hours getting that right. But if you put a professional in with you, you can get that right from the get-go. So,
and that's the difference, isn't it? I think from you as a professional designer, yes, when people are setting up their businesses, it's their baby, so they've got this vision of what they want to create, but then they're bringing someone like you on board who, it's like the old adage, someone looking out from the outside in can see a lot of things that you can't see on the inside.
That's right. So, that's exactly right. Yeah. And, it's a process. I start with clients that don't have much of a budget, and I work very closely with them to get them to where they're getting sales. And then they, it's just about that brand strategy that you've got to bring into play and get that whole, build towards your sustainable growth, but have, do it in chunks and baby steps and what you can afford. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I've got some I've just got some really cool questions that I want to ask you, because this is me picking your brain, because this is what I love about the Expo, actually, Michelle, is that you and I, we do very similar things, similar but different, right? And we've got a couple of business coaches in the Expo, and Susie and I will say this all the time: it's collaboration over competition. So what I love about these interviews is I'm always learning more and more about other people and what you do, and in essence, it helps us learn from each other, doesn't it? So in that, what's maybe okay, so if you think about the businesses that you've helped who have succeeded, what has really separated them from the businesses that you see that don't have as much success?
They do the work.
Oh, very well said. That's very succinct. And when you say do work, what do you mean? What work?
Okay, so look, I can brand people till the cows come home.
Yeah.
Right. And I can make them look beautiful and pretty and have all their profiling in place and everything and their systems in place. But if they don't do the work and do some background stuff themselves, they're just not going to get there. And I know what works, and I know what's required, having had my prior businesses. I mean, social media wasn't around in a couple of those, or it was in the tail end of the second one. I'm showing my age now, but the old school stuff still works. You still got to have that presence. But if they don't want to do the work and get on the ground and get their, get known, get seen through socials and in person, they're not going to get where they want to go.
That's right. It's just branding and, having having your business systems all set up is one thing, but you got to, and that's something that a lot of people don't realize when they hire, when they work with someone like you. It's like, you can only take it so far.
I can only take it so far. I can guide them and I can show them and I can tell them, but if they're not prepared to engage and do what's necessary, it doesn't happen. Like, I can give you an example. While I was working full time myself, I was building this at night and early mornings to get it where I wanted it to get, and getting to, working the weekends. And that's what it takes to get a business off the ground. It just, I can't stress enough how, having a lack mindset that you can't afford something is absolutely detrimental to the growth of your business.
Yeah, I have to agree. And when you think about, people putting themselves out there in business, what, apart from doing the work, with their branding and with their, their design of their business, what would you say would help them stand out above the noise of social media from everybody else?
Consistency.
consistency. Can you elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah, I can. Consistency is key. If you're not consistently posting or, not consistently doing in-person stuff or doing any kind of work for your business to get you profiled, being in online networking events, things like that, you've got to get your business out there. You've got to be consistently promoting yourself, heroing yourself, telling your story, get your message out there, and consistency is key to do that.
And as you're talking, that's so true. And you said before, and I found this as well, when I came back into the business world, there was all of a sudden this monster called social media. I'd taken 10 years away from business, and all of a sudden there was like, oh my God, people are actually using this thing called Facebook for business. What the heck? So I've forgotten where I was going with that. It's been a day.
It'll come back.
It'll come back. Yeah, no. That's so frustrating. It was a really good question, Michelle, and I've totally forgotten what it was. Oh, anyway, don't worry.
I said myself. Something around that you were going.
Social media, yeah, no. And it was around the confidence and people getting used to social media and putting themselves out there, because I was scared to do it. And that's the big thing that I see in business is people shying away from putting themselves out publicly in business because of their feeling, the lack of confidence. And some people, would you agree with this? Some people hide behind their brand.
Yeah, 100%. I've done it myself.
Yeah.
And I was doing I was doing it because I was employed. So, I did that for quite a period of time. But once I hit the ground running, it was bring it on. So yeah, people hide behind their brand. Absolutely, they do. And it's just it's a fear factor. But you know what? It's none of your business what people think.
I love that saying. I absolutely love that. It is, and it's true, because if you worry so much about what other people think, you never put yourself out there, would you?
Never do. And social media and online, and it's so present. You've got to run with it, otherwise you get left behind. And there's still a lot of those that have that mindset that it doesn't matter. You don't need it. They're retiring soon. They couldn't care less. But the younger generation that are coming through, that's what they do. They do research on people who are in business, and if they're not present online, they're not going to engage with them at all. Well,
here's the irony of that. You just said that the more mature people, like you said, close to retired age, and they're not. A lot of them, yes, they are, but some aren't ready to do social media. And yet my beautiful daughter, who is, in her late 20s, is now running her own business and yet reluctant to use social media. And I keep saying to her, darling, you have to put yourself out there on socials. If you don't do that, and yet she has a brick and mortar business. She's going, it's all right. People will see my sign on the road. Yeah, they will. But how are you going to entice them in the door? And I'm trying to explain that to her, and she just doesn't. Yeah, she hasn't got it yet. But I'm her mum. She's not going to listen to her mum.
Yeah, that's what mum does it, and mum knows what she's talking about. But it doesn't matter from a kid's perspective. A child.
No, that's right.
It doesn't matter what you know.
And even like you said yourself, you hid behind your brand. I've hidden behind my brand a lot, but not that I saw you, when I first met you, hiding behind your brand. I think it was just you were coming into this new space of being a business. And I have seen you over the last, I think, year or so that I've known you. You have really come into your brand and, even gotten more outgoing in these interviews and in your lives and stuff like that. And it's been a pleasure to watch you do that. So you are literally someone living what you teach.
Yeah, exactly. And thanks to these expos, like, it really has I knew I had to jump on and get involved in these, in the sense to get past my comfort zone. And I think I did Susie's first, and it was the best thing that could have happened, because I was out of my full-time employment. I transitioned into this full-time, and they did me a favor. They actually sacked me. So because they found out I was running a business. They found out.
Oh, really? So, wow.
Yeah, but I asked the university. I had so much work on. I just said to the university, something's got to happen here. I can't keep up with the work. And I got made redundant because they saw my website. Yeah. So, but yeah, they paid for that, so that was all good. But it was perfect timing, because I was due for long service leave and everything, and that was my plan anyway. So, but they did me a favor and made it all happen really quickly. And then like Susie's Expo, I think, was in the May, and I've just evolved from there, and I had to hit the ground running, because that was my, I'm the main income earner, and I had to make it happen. Yes. And I think if you've got that passion and drive of a purpose that has to happen, you make it happen. Certainly, you don't have those comfort zones in the background of getting a full-time income coming in, and you need to make it work. So I ran my first masterclass in February, which was fun, and I branded all of that, and we created what I call design moments, which I interview my clients now and let them tell their story about their businesses, and have the opportunity to interview people that way, not through an expo, but through that way. And it really gives me the another angle, and just learning and going along the way and finding what works. But it's all about having your systems in place. I've also got my systems in place as well to support me as well. So it's about having automations and things around, set up to back me up. And I've got my beautiful VA that supports me too. She's amazing. And I've got my tech guy. He's amazing too. We all work really well together. And I'm expanding. I hope in the next 3 months' time I will have another VA and just growth. It's just about that growth. Is the next 6 months, my growth phase is actually going to be quite strong.
Awesome. And that's exciting too, and yes, again, I've forgotten what I was going to say, what it was with my brain. I must be too many I've forgotten what I was going to say again.
That's okay. It'll come back.
I will if it's meant to. So like when you just mentioned it a little bit then, so about automation, I was going to ask you, so like when people, what would you suggest to someone who's, again, starting a business and they're looking to automate or use AI? What is your take on AI and, using it to automate your business?
Use it. Because AI to me is like having a personal assistant, basically. Yeah. I talk to AI like I've got another person in the room with me, and I'm not on my own. It's my mate, my friend, my confidant. Like it just,
yes, I know, me too.
And they don't answer back. It's bloody awesome. Yeah. So it's really good.
Sometimes they do though.
Sometimes they can be sassy.
Yeah, because my AI is called Cheryl. I've named her. She's called Cheryl. And so the other day, I don't talk to her. I need to start talking to her more. But I typed something in and she didn't answer it quick. And I went, no, you haven't answered you haven't given me the answer that I asked for, Cheryl. And so she comes back with, oh, whoops, sorry about that. It was something along those lines. Whoops, sorry about that. I must be having a bad day.
Oh, you gotta love that. Yeah, no, look, I love it. And you asked the question about automations. Like, you know what? It all depends on where they're at. If clients, my thing is to not have a plethora of tech platforms that you work on. Yeah. Ideally have a system that runs you. And but startups, generally I guide them to start up with the basics, and we then transition over to the tech platform. And more people are starting to go that way now, though, with the tech platform, instead of having multitude of tech platforms and having to learn them all before they get them into action. And
yes, I think that is probably one of the scariest things about coming into business now, especially if you're not naturally techie minded. And I have, I know a lot of people who come in and they go, oh, I want to run a business, but I don't want to use the tech.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone who says that?
I do it for them. That's what they pay me to do.
See, there's the answer. There you go.
Yeah, so I'm very tech savvy. Oh, excuse me, I've got a frog in my throat. But yeah, tech is the scary part, I find, with a lot of my clients that they just don't know enough about it. I've been blessed to have transitioned through the tech era and into where we are right now, and very blessed that I've been able to keep up with it. Yeah, so
yeah, beautiful.
I've got to tell you a funny story. My husband, he was in between in finishing his education, high school certificate, and had a job lined up. Had to fill in 12 months. So him and his mate, they decided to go to tech, and they started computer maths was one of the subjects.
Oh,
and his mate and him, they thought, these things will never go. These things will never take off. And they went to the pub instead. And look where we are now. I'm now running a business on computers. So, yeah.
I bet he's regretting that now, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I am regretting now. I could have married Bill Gates, but now, so there you go. It's just a crazy mindset that things were back then. And that was in the DOS days, the coding, you had to code the whole you wanted it to do and things like that, if you remember those days. Yeah, but no. Yes,
I do remember those days.
It's a sad case, isn't it, when we've come through such a transition in our lives, and I'm sure you can agree that, for my kids to my kids know what a VHS is, but my granddaughter will never know, sort of thing. It's just a crazy world we live in, and I'm so grateful that I am able to give that tech support to my clients and give them all of what they are needing, and simple things like creating surveys and things like that are and automations around all of those sort of things that they just wouldn't know where to start, and it absolutely strengthens their business and their whole their whole positioning in the marketplace when they can do those sort of things. So.
And helps save a crap ton of time. Let's be honest.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and generally, yeah, that's right. It does save it. It gives you a bit more better insight to what your target market is and things like that. So they're the sort of things we do.
Yeah, so automation, and that's something, that I suggest people don't shy away from automation and even AI, because honestly, it'll do nothing but help your business. It's not
the future.
It is the future, and like it or not, it's going that way. And again, I was one of those people that shied away from it. I just went, I'm not using that crap. It's not real.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound like me.
Yeah, a lot did. And I just love it. It's pretty amazing how many things are available now, what you can do. It's just quite endless.
That's it. And I have to say, oh my God, you said something about DOS before. So when this isn't DOS, but I remember it. I do remember it well. I remember doing it in high school. When my daughter the other day, I reminded her that my first business that I ever ran by myself was as an audio typist. And she goes, "What's an audio typist, Mum? Like, why?" Yeah. And I said, and I had to explain that you had the little the transcript with a little mini thing, and you had to type out the transcript. And, if there was like 5 people in the room, you had to decipher which voice was which. And you had to type, like 120 words a minute. It was ridiculous. And she's going, "Oh my God, Mum." She goes, "You know what? These days, you just whack the recording into AI and it does it all for you." And I went, "Yes, I know, Taylor." And she goes, "And you got paid for that?" I said, "Yes."
Guess how AI was built from us doing that work.
Exactly. We started that, girl. We helped build AI from the ground up. There you go.
That's it. They used us. They used us as guinea pigs. That's why we're here now.
God, I don't know, but it's interesting how business has evolved, and now someone like you can come along and help people to just set it all up. Would you say that though? Like you said, yes, you will set up the tech for them, but does it mean that they don't have to learn it themselves, or is there an aspect of it that you're going to say, well, you're still going to have to learn enough to be able to manage it, or do you manage it for them on an ongoing basis?
Well, it depends on their budgets, of course, where they're at, and we do both. Some people just don't want to know about it; they just want to know it's done and it's ready to go. So I've got a client in KL, and he's not at all interested in how I get to where I go and how I'm getting where he is, and he just wants to know what's getting done. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
So, but then I have clients who want to learn how to do it, and I'm more than happy to teach them, because I think that everyone should have an idea at least of how it happens in the event that they need to do it. So, so there's a variety of, areas that people, they will get to know certain bits and pieces because they need to understand their businesses and they need to understand how it happens. But when you have the money to pay for it, some people just don't have to worry about it. No. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about, let's go look at the, the budget side of things. So if someone came to you and, they said, look, Michelle, all right, so what is the most important piece of tech that I can set up in my business? If I was to have one thing, what's the most important bit of tech to set up? It's a hard one, isn't it?
It's a hard one. Wow, where do you start with that? In what perspective? Like just like social media, or like getting all their automations in place, or because when you build a business, you know yourself, it's a process you've got to go through. It takes time, and it's about getting one platform. You get your platforms ready, but you do one at a time. You don't do them all at once. Some people want to do it all at once, and that's fine. We can do it all at once, but if you're doing it yourself, baby steps, chip away, get where you want to go, and then introduce bits as you go along. So, MailChimp's a good platform for basic email stuff, and there's just so much out there these days, and what's right and what's wrong, who knows? There's so many options available these days. So, it's just about get advice and ask questions what other people are using. There's so many free platforms out there which are great, but they don't have everything sometimes that you need, and you end up paying for whatever function you want anyway. So you've got to do your research and do your homework and work out what you want in your business model to achieve, and then you go back and you think, well, okay, I could deal with this product and things like that. So that's what I
100% too, because when you think also on the other side of that, when I said how do you stand out above the noise, it's also you deciphering through the noise of social media, of all the ads out there, of like you said, there's so many choices of systems that you can use, like so many choices. Obviously people, when they're putting things out there, we do it ourselves as business owners. Our job is to convince people to know, like, and trust us to buy our product. So that's what they're all doing as well.
Yeah.
But it can get so confused.
So much overwhelm. Yeah.
So much overwhelm, comparing it all, going, oh my God, what the hell do I need and what the hell don't I? I can tell you, I've wasted so much money on platforms that I no longer need.
a lot of people have, and when I was building this business, I was determined to have that right product that would be the suitable product that would do it all, social media, your scheduling platforms, you've got all those, got a multitude of those available, and you've got your automation platforms, you've got your membership platforms, you've got your, the whole Teachables, like, Teachable is another one. Yeah, there's so many platforms, but this platform that I've got available to my clients now, it does everything. So, depending on what the business is, and I mean, some people buy the program just for the automations, and things like that. Yeah. So, and the fact that it stores your content in there as well, you haven't got to use Google Keep and all that sort of stuff to hold stuff in. Everything's in the one place, and that was what I really knew I had to have available to my clients to streamline their business. And not all of them start off that way. They build towards that because they realize and see that it's a process, and it's about getting all the ducks in line and getting to where you got to go. But the ultimate is to sort of have a system, CRM system, which is what this is as well. And it's all in the one place. So
beautiful.
Very, very, very big on having that right. So
good stuff. Well, it seems, and I know it is, you've got everything in place. I know that you have a bunch of people who are both stall holders in our expo or are visitors in our expo that you have had as clients, and they do nothing but rave about you. So let's put one up. Oh, there's one person here. Michelle listens to your ideas and makes magic happen. There you go. Kathy will tell you that.
Thanks, Kath.
So yeah, if people they want to know more, they've listened to this and go, yeah, I'm startup and I want to know more. Michelle, help me. How can they get in contact with you, my darling?
Well, yeah, look, go to my michellpeel.com. I have what I call a boost call, or a 1 hour marketing session where I can have a conversation with you to sort of just see where you're at and have a bit of a drill down on where you're at and what you're not happy, find out what's working and what's not, and sort of just get an idea. So they can contact me there. I've got my Dzign Studio website. There's a link there for that as well. You can come on and just book a time. Let's have a chat. There's obligation free. It's absolutely just to have that conversation and get your head around what you're not happy with and what you'd like to achieve. Yeah.
Awesome. Beautiful, Michelle. So I think that, excuse me, my beautiful assistant, Parme, will probably put that link in the comments very, very shortly. MichellePeel.com, you said. Did I hear that correctly?
MichellePeel.com. Yep.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So there you go, guys. Feel free to connect with Michelle if you can't wait until the expo. And also, Michelle, you'll be doing some lives during the expo, won't you? Talking more about your business and what kind of things are you going to share with us in those lives? Do you know yet?
I knew you were going to ask me this question.
It's all right. I've had it happen to me.
I'm not sure yet. I'm going to surprise you guys. I'll hopefully over the weekend put my topics up, and I will be over the weekend getting my topics up there. But I like to sort of work on where the market's at this point in time and where people are sort of thinking, and see what's most important. I'm very big on collaboration. I really think that that's a really big part of growth with any businesses. So I may speak a bit more about that, because collaboration, you've got to work together in the whole industry. There's so many of us out there, but we all do something different, so exactly. That's one of the big things I probably will highlight. But I'll just surprise you.
I like it. Well, that in essence, like you say, collaboration, something that we say right throughout all the expos, mine and Susie's, basically we always say collaboration over competition. So yeah, you're in the right space. We're all in the right space together, obviously.
Absolutely.
Michelle, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us today. We look forward to seeing you in the expo. I know you're, like you said, you're busy setting everything up over the weekend.
Yeah.
Can't wait for more.
Thank you, Ellie, for having me, and I look forward to seeing you all in the expo. Not long now.
Not long now. All right, thank you, darling. I'll just pop you below, but don't go away. Oh, how beautiful. What a lovely chat with Michelle. What a gorgeous lady. So as we were just talking about, guys, yes, we are, like I said at the beginning, next Wednesday, we are going live for the Heart and Soul Virtual Expo. And if you would like to come and join us for free as a visitor, all you need to do is just click on the link for the group, which is going to go in the comments very shortly, and just come and join it. You just need to answer a couple of really simple questions. We're not going to ask, for what you had for lunch or anything like that. Or we're not even going to ask for your email, guys. Just come and join the group. Come on in for free. You will get the opportunity to check out some bargains, some discounts, some group specials. We will have live people going live every 30 minutes from about 7 in the morning through to 8:30 at night for all 3 days. We're going to have like cooking demos. We might have one card readings. Who knows? Like, we could have anything, guys. This is what I love about the expo. You also will see on the feed throughout the whole day, people will be posting their content and, about their products and services, so you can learn more. You can go and check out people's stall albums under the media tab and have a look. Like someone like Michelle, you can go into her stall album, have a look at all her wonderful products and services that she offers, and you can find out more. You could even get that, that link and go to her website as well to book one of those beautiful calls with her. Now, the other thing that we do have in the Expo, and this is one of the most, hands down, one of the most popular things, we have a lucky prize draw every single night of the Expo, where you guys, during the day, you have the opportunity to enter into the prize draw every single day. There's rules you have to follow, but you could win one of tens of thousands of dollars. Now, I think the last Expo we did get up to just over $10,000 worth of prizes, and I haven't yet added up what the prizes are worth yet because we're still in the process of collecting them all. But if you want to have the opportunity to win one of those amazing prizes, which our very generous stall holders have donated, come on in and join the group, guys. We would love to see you there. So, as I mentioned, we are starting next Wednesday, the 5th of February. Oh my God, I can't believe it's February already. Well, it will be on Saturday. And we look forward to seeing you there, guys. We have one more sponsors interview left to do, which we're going to do on Monday. In the meantime, have a fantastic weekend when we get there, and I will see you later. Bye, everybody.